Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce, my name is Noviani Agustin. In this video, I will present a journal with the title Folktales as Meaningful Cultural and Linguistic Researches to Improve Student Reading Skills. Its authors are Ida Bagus Nyoman Matra and Dewa Gede Agung Gana Kumara from Mahasaraswati University in 2018. There are the four topic outlines that will be present. There are introduction, method, finding and discussion, and conclusion. But now I will start by opening the journal's introduction section. Indonesia has many folk tales that have been passed on from generation to generation. This happens because folk tales have important value for the community. Folktales has a deeper meaning than the majority of young people can comprehend, and they frequently find it difficult to understand without doing it correctly and studying it in depth. Students can easily recognize more moral ideals, sterling characters, and expression thanks to folktales. And folktales also enhance students' ability to make wise selection because it generally aids in the development of student critical reading abilities, fluency, vocabulary, and capacity to comprehend specific events. And using folktales in teaching English recently become more popular among language teachers. This is due to the usefulness of folktales in enriching student linguistic and cultural ability. As English becomes the language of the world, the intention to teach English more effectively becomes priority for our language teacher. And English, like many other languages, consists of four skills. There are listening, reading, speaking, and writing. Reading is a complex activity that involves both perception and thought. One of the solutions to improve student reading skills is by utilizing folktales. Engaging students to reading activity using folktales provides them with memorable experience. Moreover, it also helps students learn how to make predictions, inferences, and draw conclusions about action, behavior of characters of the folktales. Many studies have been conducted concerning the use of folktales in the language classroom, which revealed that folktales may increase student language awareness, motivation, personal reflection, and cultural understanding. And this study aims to demonstrate that folktales have a potential of enriching student reading skills, enhancing their motivation in reading, and increasing their cultural sensitivity and awareness. Okay. The subject of study was a group of EFL students of English Study Program, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Mahasaraswati University, and Denpasar. One class was chosen as the subject of study. They were chosen as the subject of the study because their ability in reading comprehension, as indicated by initial reflection, was still very low. So this study was Classroom Action Research, or CAR, consisted of cyclical process in which in every cycle there were four interconnected activities, such as planning, action, observation, and reflection. and the teaching and learning process were divided into two cycles. Each cycle consists of two learning sessions, which include four interconnected activities. And the four interconnected activities are planning, action, observation, and reflection. And the result of reflection and observation from the first cycle were used to revise the planning for the second cycle. Okay, so next I will explain about the finding and discussion of the journal. In this classroom action research, data were collected by administering pre-tests, post-tests, and questionnaires. The aim of administering the pre-test was to examine the subject's pre-existing ability in reading comprehension before the treatment was given. Furthermore, the post-test was used in order to see the extent to which the strategy can improve the subject's ability in reading comprehension. But before starting the first cycle, the researchers conducted interviews with the lecturers who taught reading and discovered that the lecture used traditional teaching techniques that were challenging for students to understand. Before learning how to teach, a pretest was administered to determine the subject reading comprehension proficiency. Giving a pretest composite of 20 short answer and question is the first step in the learning activity. And the result of pretest showed that the student reading comprehension was very poor, in which there were no subjects who could achieve the minimum passing grade. It showed that the subject reading comprehension need urgently to be improved. And to improve the subject reading comprehension, Folktales were integrated in reading class, and the learning sessions were carried out in two cycles. Okay, so for the first teaching session or for the first cycle, the reading exercise for the first session were developed based on the story of the Black Hen and the story of Tupac and Gurantang. Meanwhile, the exercise for second teaching session were designed based on the story of the legend of Nyi Roro Kidul and the story of the legend of Sangkuriang. In each teaching session, in each teaching action, there were three main activities, namely pre-activities, wheels activity, and post-activity. In pre-activity, the teacher allows students prior knowledge and link up the student knowledge with the upcoming learning material. And in the while activity was start by asking the student to write down 10 statements expressing what they already knew about the story. They then asked to read them aloud. Prior to reading the text, students were asked to 10 questions that they want to know about the story. Then a post-test was administered in the post-activity of the lesson in Season 2, and the subjects were asked to answer 20 questions related to the folk tales being learned. The result of the post-test one showed that student reading comprehension improved considerably. And based on classroom observation, it showed that students were really active to participate in all learning activity. Additionally, The mean figure of post the result was 6.50, and based on the result of the test session, it was decided to continue to the study to the second cycle. Okay, so in the second cycle, the lesson plan was revised from the lesson plan in the first cycle, and students engaged in pairs and group learning activity. This kind of exercise improves students' social skills and reading comprehension more quickly. The outcome of the classroom observation also showed that group and pair learning made the students far more interested in their studies. At the conclusion of the second cycle, a worksheet for the post-test was also given. The post-test for the exercise, which had 20 short answer questions, was given at the conclusion of Season 2, and the second teaching cycle's mean figure was 8.40. As all students achieved the required passing score on the post-test too. This demonstrates that there had been a significant improvement. It indicates that using Folktales to aid in reading comprehension was quite successful. So, the conclusion of this journal is reading comprehension of the student in studying greatly improved through the integration of Folktales in reading classroom. The use of Folktales in English language classroom can be a very practical and effective approach to teach language skills, particularly reading comprehension, syntactical contents, diction, figurative meaning, and cultural value. Therefore, it highly suggests that language teaching utilizes folktales as a valuable, authentic resource of learning material to teach language and culture at the same time. So guys, that's all my presentation. Thank you for watching and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.